Okay, think about this for a second. Your phone, your car, even the water cooler at the office. What actually happens to them when they reach the end of their life? Well, a huge wave of new regulations is about to force us all to know the answer. It's going to totally change how we track pretty much everything we make and use. Welcome to the new age of the digital product passport. And believe me, it is coming a lot sooner than you think. And when I say soon, I mean the clock is ticking, loudly. It all kicks off in 2026 with the UK's digital waste tracking. And then, bam, 2027 hits with the EU's digital product passport and their carbon border adjustment mechanism. These aren't some far-off ideas anymore. They are literally right around the corner. So this brings up a massive, and I mean massive question for basically every business out there. With this absolute tsunami of new data requirements about to crash down, are they actually ready for it? And you know what? For a whole lot of them, the answer is a big, resounding nope. To really get why this is such a big deal, you gotta understand what these rules are all about. These are not just some minor tweaks to the paperwork. No, this is a fundamental shift in policy. It's all designed to push entire industries towards something called a circular economy. You know, the idea that nothing should ever go to waste. So what are we actually talking about here? What do these regulations demand? Well, in a word, data. A mind-boggling amount of it. Businesses are going to have to track waste the second it's out the door, give super detailed reports on what their products are made of, calculate all these complex carbon emissions, and prove, with data that can be checked, where every single part came from. And that leads us right to the heart of the problem, what we can call the data intelligence gap. See, the systems that most companies are using right now, they just weren't built for this. Not for this level of detail, and definitely not for this kind of information flow. Think about it like this. On one side, you've got the manufacturers, the OEMs. They know exactly what goes into making a product. Then, way over on the other side, you've got the recyclers. They know what happens when that product gets taken apart. But in between them, there's just this giant gap. It's like they're operating in two totally different data universes. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Companies are facing these mounting compliance obligations without data infrastructure to connect upstream OEM systems with downstream recycling partners. It's simple, really. The two sides just can't talk to each other. So what happens when that data chain is broken? Well, the costs, both in time and money, they start to pile up. And trust me, they pile up fast. This isn't just some small headache. It's a huge financial and operational risk. Let's start with the scary part. The potential fine for not getting this right, get ready for it, £50,000 per day. I mean, a penalty like that can absolutely cripple a business. All right, so what do you do instead? A lot of companies will just try to throw money at the problem. They'll hire these super expensive consultants to try and manually stitch all this data together. And the typical price tag for that little Band-Aid? You're looking at about £320,000. And it's not just about the money. Think about the human cost. We're talking an average of 4,000 manual hours just spent collecting all this data. That's the equivalent of 2 full-time employees doing absolutely nothing else but chasing down paperwork. Okay, so here's the bottom line. The way things are now is expensive, it's inefficient, and it's just not going to work long-term. The real solution isn't about patching up a broken chain. It's about creating a whole new, totally closed loop for all this data. And that solution has a name, a unified data intelligence platform. What is that? Well, think of it like a central hub that automatically connects the manufacturer's world with the recycler's world. It creates one single, reliable source of truth for a product's entire life story. And here's where it gets really cool, because we can actually see what this looks like in practice. Instead of a mess of spreadsheets and systems that don't talk to each other, you get one single dashboard. You can see everything from your supply chain partners to real-time tracking and compliance reports, all in one spot. So how does this whole thing work? It's actually pretty brilliant. First, it just plugs into the systems manufacturers already have. Easy. Second, it automatically grabs the data it needs from all the recycling partners. Third, and this part is absolutely key, it takes all that messy data in different formats and standardizes it. And finally, it spits out the exact reports the regulators are looking for. But hold on, because this is where the story takes a really interesting turn. This isn't just about avoiding fines or saving time. Nope. This is about turning a massive compliance headache into a real, genuine business opportunity. This data can actually make you money. Here's the core idea, right? The very same data that you're now forced to collect to keep the regulators happy, well, it turns out it's also a goldmine of hidden business intelligence. So on the one hand, you can track your carbon footprint and recycling rates in real time, letting you prove your green claims with actual hard numbers. And on the other hand, you can use that same data to analyze costs, find value in recycled materials, and spot brand new ways to generate revenue. It's two sides of the same very valuable coin. So who actually wins here? Well, pretty much everybody. Your CFO, they get to turn a huge cost into a new revenue stream. The ESG director, they finally get the solid data they need to back up their sustainability claims. The compliance officer, they get automated reporting and can finally sleep at night, not worrying about those 50K a day fines. And the operations director, they get this incredible, unprecedented view into what really happens to their products out in the world. All right, so let's just do a quick recap. A huge wave of regulation is coming, no doubt about it. Most companies have this massive data gap that's going to make it a nightmare. The solution? It's a unified platform that closes that loop between the factory and the recycling plant. And the most important part? This platform doesn't just solve a problem. It actually unlocks totally new sources of revenue and intelligence. Which really leaves us with one last big thought. This is about way more than just compliance or revenue. Just imagine, what if every single thing we owned, from our shoes to our satellites, could tell us its entire life story, from the raw materials it was made from to the new things it's destined to become? Seriously, how would that fundamentally change our world?